things about trading Forex is that you don't actually know exactly which trade is going to be a crazy winner or just another loss.
What's up, everybody? We are currently live.
We're taking away the weekly.
Trace back down to what we've got. Evidence that price is going to be bullish.
Point sort of chasing the market. I was more than happy to stay flat.
Hello everyone.
What the kangaroo tell?
Always recommend trading on the 5 minute.
Some of these exotic pairs in pretty steady uptrend, making these higher highs and higher.
Mostly trend following.
The stimulus in a certain way. Okay, so we're going to get started with GJ here. If you take a look at the weekly candle, if I clear my chart out. So on Monday, if we look around this area, price started around here. And I said, you know what, if we break this support coming across, we should come down and possibly fill this wick right here. I didn't know how far down price would go, but at least if we look left, we do have this support right here. So if we bring this across, I knew it would at least get to here. So it looks like price is kind of playing in that favor of being bearish for the week. So I'm gonna clear that off. So with that in mind, if we hop on the 4 hour, if you zoom in here, you can see that price made a kind of like a double top over here, sort of. But it made a lower high, right? Came down, came crashing down. Now it's pulling back up. So I'm thinking it's pulling back up just based off of the crash down it just had. All right. So you could draw Fibonacci up here if you think it's going to continue to be bearish, right? So if we look at the Fibonacci, that means you're expecting price to come into the golden zone right here, retest it, and then continue its trend. Right? So far, price is still coming up. We don't know if our Fibonacci is valid yet, and we won't really know until it gets to that point. But, it's just something to keep in mind. So if we hop over to the hourly, just zooming in here, when you come on the charts, you just want to take your time and break down the charts, right? You just want to take your time and try to figure out what the candlesticks are trying to tell you, right? So like I said, we've seen that we were breaking up. We put a little zone here in the hour, right? That's resistance. This is support. Looks like price is trying to break up through there. If price does indeed break up through here, we still do have these clean candles right here to the left, right? These are clean traffic candles that price could potentially fill, okay? So we hop over to the 30 minute, this candle did break through the zone indeed. However, the next candle, looks like it's retracing a bit. So if we hop on the 15, which is what I like, typically I do adjust my zones here, put it at the top of this, but because, let me see. Yeah, we'll put it at the top of that. And then what we'll do is we'll delete this zone because we don't really need this right now. Let's just focus right here. All right, what you would want is you want the candle to break through the zone. And because the candle did not break up through the zone, you're not just going to take an impulse buy. You have to wait for price to give you something to go off of, right? So we'll wait for the market to set something up for us. Earlier on my stream, if I put it in replay mode, you put it right here. This was around the time I was live. I did have a support here, and I said, hey, if price breaks this support, we could possibly come down some, right? If I put it in play, what the next candle do? Bang. So this was a quick scalp. I actually missed this move, little 12 pips here. I missed it because I was so focused on US 30, which when I get to US 30, I'll show you the little scalp we took on US 30, which was about 60 pips. So let me take this out of replay mode, put it back live. But Even if you look at the next candle, price indeed still continued down to this point, right? So that could have been 25 pips. Again, I missed the move. And when I came back on the charts here, it was forming this candle, right? So, one of my rules is to not have FOMO, right? So don't have a fear of missing out on a move. If the move already happened, you didn't get that entry, then, it's okay to miss it. You don't just want to hop in a trade, because let's say if I just hopped in the sell right here, just because I missed it, the wick would have came up and I probably would have stopped out, right? So, you just have to keep in mind that whether you graphed out a move or not and it ended up happening, if you miss it, it's okay. The market sets you up every day to take moves. So you can always come back to it tomorrow or, later on in the week. So it's not a big deal if you miss a move. All right. But if we look at this on the 15-minute, typically I don't like a lot of things on my chart. So I'd probably keep it like this for now because it's not really showing me anything else. All right. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about GJ. If we move up to GU, check this out. It kind of looks a little similar. Price is coming up to this resistance, right? It came up to this resistance again, and it couldn't break through, right? So we're going bearish. If I go to a higher time frame, you're going to see that we're consolidating, right? Look at the 30-minute. Price is stuck in this area. It's stuck. It's playing ping pong. It's basically just going ping, 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 ping till it breaks, and it could break up or it could break down, right? So with that said, you just have to wait for price to break out of consolidation to give you, a directional bias, right? So I personally do not like to trade in consolidation because, it's like a 50-50, and I prefer trades that are more 90% and up. You want to take trades that give you a better chance of winning, right? So looking at this, like I said, looks like we bounced off of resistance. You could put a line here. Like I said, I do like my charts clean. So sometimes I'll put a line here, sometimes I won't, but I know that this is support and I know that price could potentially come down to support here. So, we can leave GU like that for now. We hop onto Euro USD. All right, Euro USD has literally been doing this all morning. Check out these candles. All morning, right? So throughout my stream, we weren't watching it, but it's not something you really want to watch. If you see consolidation like this, I typically call it Wick City. That's just something I made up, right? Wick City just stands for a whole bunch of wicks in a small area, right? So, I always say on my live streams, I don't trade Wick City because it's just not a good trade, right? So we don't like this, we like these clean candles, but we definitely don't like this. All right, but as you can see, price is at this resistance here. It tried multiple times, right? Multiple times. If I draw this in here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. It literally tried 10 times to break up through this, and it just could not break through, right? So it looks like we're finally getting that rejection right now. So if I were to draw, say if I took this support right here and I drew it over, it looks like price is breaking that, right? The next support would probably be right here. And again, I really like to keep my charts clean. I don't like to draw too many, and then the next support would be here, right? So even if this is a sell, this is a really good example how I still wouldn't take the sell, because look at all of this. There's 1, 2, 3 lines. There's too much going on in this area, right? It needs to be more spaced out. I do prefer to have clean candles like this, clean traffic candles, not consolidation candles, right? So clean traffic candles give your trade a higher probability of going in your favor, right? If we have all these zones right here, then price at any point can retest it and bounce up like it's doing right now. See, it didn't come all the way down to here. You know what I mean? So, something like this, like I said, I typically don't draw in all these zones. I could see it without drawing it, but, just for that reason, I just wouldn't take the sell. If it sells, it sells. That's cool. we'll just wait for the next one. So I'll leave this one like this. And if we hop on the hour, so check this out. If you look on the hour, if you drag your resistance over, you know, they say old resistance or old support becomes new resistance. You know what I mean? So just check that out right there, right? Check out the support becoming this new resistance. That's just basic market structure, you know? So it wasn't really a guess that, hey, you know, why did it come up here randomly and stop? No, you just look left, you know, drag your support over and it'll make more sense, right? So on the hourly, if I move this down to right here, right, it makes a little bit more sense. You know what I mean? Can this come crashing down? Absolutely. Absolutely it can. But, you know, Euro USD isn't something I personally trade a lot. It really just depends on the news and what's going on and how much volume we have in the market. Because personally, for me, it just doesn't move fast enough, just to be honest with you. But, you know, that's my overall bias. I could definitely see this making a lower high once again and then coming crashing down, right? So I'll delete that. And then we'll add this on the hourly, right? This would make a lot more sense. This looks pretty good, to be honest, as far as going bearish. All right, so then we'll move on to, we'll talk about some US 30. All right, so US 30, check this out. And delete this. So you may be wondering, why does this say trailing stop? What's going on here? Well, this was a scalp, right? We scalped this sell right here. So if I put in replay mode and I take this away, you will see the scalp that we had, and stop loss was not that high. I had to go over to the 5 minute and see. Let me see. Stop loss was right here. And the trade was actually right here. So this is in replay mode. Once again, just showing you trade we took a couple hours ago. So basically, you know, we're on this downtrend. Price pulled back up to this resistance right here, right? I'm gonna mark it up so you can see it. We had a pullback, and when we started coming down, you know, price had another pullback, right? So what we did was we got in on the pullback. Also, USD was pretty weak at the time, so we knew that we could get the sell. So, you know, we took a little impulse scalp to the downside. We had our break of support. Let me clear this out so you can see it a little better. Delete that. Delete that. We'll delete that. Right, so we had our zone kind of set right here. Break of support. And we had this right here, right? Potential TP, right? I don't know why this is so big. There we go. All right, so our scalp was looking like this. We actually, I believe, because my line was a little higher, I believe we got in a little earlier around this area. But nonetheless, you know, this wick rejection, we have tweezer tops right here. You know, we had other confirmations that we were coming down. So again, this was just a quick little scalp. If you look at it in the 15 minute, it kind of looks like this. If I go back, if I put it in play, dang, you know, we did hit TP there. I'm still drawing. But yeah, so this was about how many pips? I think I got 60 pips out of this. If I zoom out here, I can actually tell you how much it was. This says 68 pips. 68, but I closed my trade at 60 pips. Right, so while we were trading this, we actually had a trailing stop, right? And the trailing stop is a little off. It was above this candle, right? So that's why I put trailing stop. You know, that way that, you know, if the trade doesn't go in our favor, then we say, hey, you know, price comes back up, which it did end up coming back up. If I put in play, bang, you would have got stopped out there, right? So, but again, you know, we didn't get stopped out. we scalp this whole thing down right here. Just a little quick scalp, 60 pips. All right, but if I clear this all out and I go to the real time, we can see on US 30, you have to remember that US 30 is forever in an uptrend, right? We are forever trending up because we are a growing economy. Every year we're evolving. So no matter what, the economy is going up. We are going to have these dips because, realistically, the market moves in waves. So, you have to have these pullbacks. You have to have these dips. So with that said, let's check out this pattern. Check this out in the daily. Price came up, came down, pull back, up, down, pull back. And, it's not the prettiest thing, but it's there. Up, down, pull back, right? So what do you think is next? What do you think is next? It looks like we're ready to do this. You see where I'm going? Right? I'm going to highlight these in case you don't see them. We have a high there. We have a higher high here. And a higher high here, right? Then the lows. See how our lows are getting higher, right? So when you have higher highs and higher lows, if you read your Forex books, that indicates an uptrend, right? So, if we're following the fundamentals, the technical analysis of an uptrend, then hey, it looks like we're on the bounce up, right? Another thing we can do is if you're a trend line trader, then, you can go ahead and draw in that trend line. Go ahead and draw that in and then clone it. The reason I clone my trend lines is because they should be parallel, right? So it should be looking about the same as your other trend line. I do typically like to make these tight because it just makes it a little bit more accurate. All right. But yeah, that'd pretty much be the trend line. So let's hop on the 4-hour now. Check this out. Don't be surprised. It looks like we're bouncing off of support, right? Got support here. We got support here. We got support here. No surprise at all, once again. Now let's look at price action. We have a resistance in this area, right? We draw this over. If price breaks this resistance, what do you think we're doing? Well, if we're looking at our trend line, looks like we're bouncing up. Looks like we could get to this area. So let's draw our zones. Where's the next resistance? This is the next resistance. This is the next resistance, right? Pretty simple, right? And it's not rocket science. And I don't mean to sound like it's easy. It's not easy. It's just simple. If you just take your time and you come to the charts, you draw out your zones, you try to pay attention to what's going on overall, then you should be able to figure out what price wants to do for the most part, right? You should be able to take a good educated guess. All right, something like this on the hourly, let's say you're an hourly trader. If you were scared, let's just take a look at this. We have a huge bullish engulfing candle, right? Huge. If you read your books, bullish engulfings, those are indication of uptrends as well. We have this wick down and a push up. I talk about this a lot on my channel. When you have a wick down and a push up, it's a really good spot for impulse entry, right? So you could have took an impulse entry and put your stops below this candle. Yes, that's 44 pips, but you're trading US 30. So you want to play big. Hey, what I'm saying? This pair is not like the regular pairs. You need to make sure you have the proper leverage in your account. If you're going to trade US 30, you really need to watch your lot sizes and pay attention because this ain't no joke. 0.01 is $1 a pip. So with the smallest lot size for a beginner, this is risking $44, right? 44 points is $44, right? If you can't risk $44, you should not be trading US 30. And like I said, that's the smallest lot size. If we even go up to a 0.02, that's $88, right? That's almost $100. So again, if you are a newer trader, you can't risk like $100. Don't even look at US 30. Try to stick to the regular pairs. And when you master those, then you can graduate, right? Then you can move up, all right? So let's take a look at this for my visual learners. If price breaks up through here, we could potentially get up to here, right? This is 400 pips. This ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. Let's say you took this little buy right here. That's 89 pips. That's basically 90 pips right there. You know what I'm saying? So, there's different ways you can come on this chart and look at it. And another thing is check out this. So this can also happen. Price can come up here, and because this is a major zone, right? It's a major resistance zone because it's on the hour. It could easily bounce back off and come back up. Or it can easily bounce back, make a double bottom, right? It could do that if it wants to, and then come back up, right? Because remember, this is resistance, right? It doesn't mean that it has to break through. It doesn't have to do that. It could do whatever it wants to do. You know what I'm saying? So it could even do this. It can consolidate, then break up, right? So you really don't know. You really don't know what it's going to do. But what you can do, don't know, is to just keep an eye on it. Wait for price to break zones, right? Don't take impulse entries. Wait for breaks, right? So with that said, let's hop on a lower time frame and let's see what it looks like. Let's hop on the 30. Just take your time. What you got here? Once again, we're at resistance. You see it's rejecting resistance. You see it, right? So that means you should not be taking impulse buys. You don't do that. You need to wait for more confirmations. The only impulse buy you should have took was really down here or right here at the wick rejection, right? Because right here, price was trending down, right? We also have a double bottom indication of an uptrend. We also have these tweezer bottoms if I go on a higher time frame, right? Those are all indication of uptrends, right? We have a break of structure, right? We have a break of resistance. So, this was the perfect impulse entry right here, okay? So that's over with. So you can't just hop into this trade now. You missed your chance to do that. Okay. And, the reason I really stress that is because that's how a lot of people lose trades. That's how I used to lose trades, at least. I was taking impulse entries and I was wondering why I was losing. And I was emptying my account back to back. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely know what I'm talking about. I'm just moving this up here. I do prefer to trade on the 15-minute. It's kind of like my bread and butter, the 15-minute. But if we're on US 30, I do focus on the hourly a lot. So actually, let me just move this back down to here. I really, really do like to focus on the hour for US 30. But sometimes you got to go to a lower time frame to see what's going on. I mean, look what's going on. Price is rejecting. So again, you shouldn't be taking any type of buys right now. All right, that's my overall bias on that. If we check out gold, switch over to gold now. Gold's been pretty interesting today. If we check out the weekly, we did have this break, but let me check it out in the hour. Scroll in. So I'm gonna clear out my chart. I'm actually gonna put it in replay mode. Let's see, 4 o'clock. Yeah, I just wanted to point this out. So this, if you were trading yesterday, I'm gonna show you what this looks like on the 5-minute. It looks pretty nice. Right, so if you look at the news from yesterday, I actually traded this on my stream here at 2 o'clock. We did a special extra stream because I knew we were going to get this news, FOMC meetings, right? So that 2 o'clock news, it does happen every month. So you can catch this move every month, right? For USD, and it is a red folder, meaning it has a high impact on the market, right? At 2 o'clock, we just shot up on gold, completely shot up. If we take a look at this, what is this? 86 pips, 86 pips on gold. So like I said, if you are aware of the news drops and you know how they work, it is a good way to make extra money. If I put this in replay mode, it was looking like this before the news dropped, right? So you're probably wondering, oh, how do you know? Like, how did you know it was going to go up? How do you know it's not going to go down? Well, the only thing we can do is we can take our paintbrush here and we can just look at the facts. The facts is we have a pendant, right? Currently, price is breaking out of the pendant. This was a fake out. We didn't know that this was going to be a fake out. But duly note, here's a little tip for you. Price likes to do the opposite of what it's going to do before the news drops sometimes, right? So now we have resistance, right? And then the next bigger resistance is up here. And then now we have support, right? And then the next support is here. So the way you could have set this up was you could have said, hey, news is very volatile. So you're not going to get in at the market price. The market price is going to be high. The spread is going to be very, very high. Okay, so you have to use buy stops and sell stops, right? And a buy stop and a sell stop, those are pending orders, right? So you can input them into your app, your MetaTrader app, or whatever platform you use. You can put the price in that you want to get at, right? So we could say, hey, if price gets to here, put me in for a buy. You can do that. And you would input your price. Let's just take a look at what this price is. You input that price for a buy stop, right? So here's the thing about buy stops, though. The thing about buy stops is your stop loss, right? That's the hardest part because price could easily, let's say price goes into your favor, price comes up. What if it comes down, then goes up, right? You get stopped out. So the hardest part of the news, believe it or not, is to know where to put your stop loss. And to be honest with you, you never really know. And your stop loss has to be realistic towards your risk, right? Because obviously you're not going to risk more than what your account is, right? So let's say we had a sell stop here. Say we had a sell stop below the structure. Let's take a look at this and let's replay back this news. And let's see what could happen. So if we press play, bang, now check this out. If I zoom in here, and this has happened to me before, so I really want to show you this. I didn't do it on purpose, but look. If we zoom in, what happened? What happened here? Your sell stop got activated. So at this point in time, the market is petty. Listen, the market opened your order for a sell. Now you're in a sell. But guess what? Price went up. So wherever your stop loss is where it took you out of the sell. So now you lost money. So what is this? 16 pips? Now you lost money. But now you also are making money because, hello, they just opened up a trade for you up here, right? So now your buy stop is activated, right? So if we look at this, you have what? That's 32 pips. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it in play. Oh, all right. So TP has smacked. So check me out here. So what did you really end up with? Let's do some math. So let's see. I'm gonna use my paintbrush. You made 48 pips, right? This was 48 pips. Your sell stop got activated, which sucks, but you did have a stop loss, which is good. So you lost 16 pips. All right. So, you're up 34 pips. Now that's cool. But let me tell you something that happened to me. This didn't happen to me yesterday, but when I was learning how to trade news, check this out. So what happened to me once was, I got stopped out here, and then gold went up into my buy stop, and then it came down into my stop loss, and then it went up. And let me tell you, those are teardrops. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something. My lot size ain't small, right? It ain't small at all. So I ended up losing both trades, and I was just like, wow. That was kind of a hard hit. But again, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it doesn't do that. As you can see here, it didn't do that, right? So, you're in the money here. But nonetheless, I just want to show you that before we talk about gold. So I'm going to delete this. We're going to go back live. Bang. And we're going to talk about some gold. So weekly candle. Like we said, it did come down here, but now it looks like it's pushing up. Check it out on the daily. Right. So on Monday, I pointed out that, we're still correcting this NFP news. This was the NFP news from a couple weeks ago. Price did come up. It is trying to correct it. Right now, price is consolidating, right? We see it. It's consolidating, right? Pretty straightforward. Top on the 4-hour. Like I said, it's consolidating. Look at it. It's not a guess. It's right there in front of your face. These are nice, clean moves up, consolidation. So, you're just gonna have to wait for price to give you, that break. Can you trade consolidation? Yeah, it's up to you. But me personally, unless I catch breaks, I really don't try to trade it. All right, so check this out. We can put this in a trend line, right? If you like trend lines, clone it just like that, bang. We can do it like that. So if you are looking at this trend line, clearly it looks like price is bouncing off of support right here, right in this area. It's pulling back. So let's check it out in a half hour. If I zoom out, it's pulling back. It's pretty straightforward. You can even draw Fibonacci up here and see if it lines up. If it doesn't line up, it doesn't line up. See, it doesn't line up. You try to put it to the top of this. Kind of lines up a little bit, not really. You know what I mean? So if your Fibonacci doesn't line up, then you can't force it. Top on the 15-minute. Like we said already, price is bouncing back up. So, if you like to trade gold, you just have to wait for price to give you something. I do prefer to trade gold on the 5-minute. I like to look at the overall, but if I'm scalping, the 5-minute is pretty sweet. It is pretty nice. If we look in this area, price was trending up. Also, price is at resistance. Also, price made a pendant, right? Ready for that pendant break. Also, we have support, right? We got support right here if we're looking at price action. We have support right here if we're looking at price action, right? We have a whole bunch of things we can look at right here. A whole bunch of things. If we look left, we've got this clean candle. If we break this support, we look left. Beautiful clean traffic candle, right? So we can bring the support. We can bring this all the way over, right? So if I'm a scalper, let me clear this out. If I'm a scalper, I'm looking like this. I'm looking like, okay, support, 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 right? Look at that candle. You should already know what that candle is. Indication of a reversal, indication of a downtrend, right? Just look at this candle. It broke through. So you could easily scalped. Put your stop loss above your entry candle. That's what I like to do. 12 pips, right? For 30 pips, that's 30 pips. Remember, this is gold. You playing big when you're playing with gold. You're not playing with the little, with the regular pairs. Come down to here, that's 85 pips off of a scalp. So, the more you learn support and resistance, the more you just take your time when you come to the chart and you don't force it, you'll be able to see these moves. All right. I didn't catch this move today, but, like I said, I was mostly focused on that US 30 scalp I took today. And I was back and forth with GU and GJ. But, it was there. If you're looking at it in the 15-minute, it looks nice as well. Right? You see the price action on the 15-minute. You see support was broken on the 15-minute. This nice candle right here. Right? You see support was broken again. It broke both supports. Right? So that's another good indication, right? And then you have this nice clean candle right here for price to fill. Right? Perfect. It's a perfect TP, So, those scalps are always nice. Right, so as far as this goes, like I said, you're just gonna have to wait for it to give you a setup. I personally, for me, the way I trade, I don't see a setup on this right now. But if I do see a setup, then I will graph it out. Right, and then let's hop over to the DXY. Okay, hop on the daily here. Cool. Delete potential. All right, so basically what this says, if DXY, which is the dollar index, right? That's what this is. If the dollar goes bullish, then gold should be going bearish, right? So what did you see the dollar do for the day? For the day, the dollar was bullish. If we look at gold for the day, well, it did go bearish, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Gold did come down, right? If you look at the 4-hour, gold did come down. All right, so, they basically move in opposites. If we're looking at the daily, we are at resistance, right? We're at resistance. So either we're going to break through and we're going to come up, or we're just going to, test this and then come back down. So we don't really know what it's going to do yet because it's still here. It's just been sitting here. But we do know that price just made a dip, right? Price just made a dip. So we'll see what happens. We can't trust it right yet. Like right now, we can't trust that. You can't trust that. We don't need a little bit more from this. We're going to need the dollar to really push up here to really show us that it wants to be strong. So, I do like to keep an eye on the dollar because it just helps me know what's going on in the market for the day, right? Like when you catch these breakouts, then it really helps you trade US 30. It helps you trade GU, EU, gold, anything with USD in it. It just really helps you determine the directional bias for the day. So if you didn't know before, and then now, the dollar is very, very important. All right. But I think that's all I got for y'all today. Other than that, we do see USD CAD going pretty bullish, and that's because it does correlate with the dollar. USD CAD moves the same direction that the dollar moves, all right, because USD is in control, right? It's USD CAD, that's the first in the pair, that is in control. So this was pretty bullish for the day. It really was. I don't trade it too much. Only when I see a really good setup on it, but definitely bullish for the day. But yeah, y'all, I think that's what I got for y'all today. Whenever you're ready, Nick, I'm all set. Let's see if I can take a look at the chat here. JK, I see you, JK. I didn't see the chat till now. Mosh Junko, do you trade NAS? No, Mosh. I actually just stick to the US 30 and GJ and GU mostly. Crispy Clips, US Oil. My channel is OfficialLins. My channel is my name. Keenan, Liddy, thanks for the lessons. No problem, Liddy. I see you. Appreciate y'all coming by the stream here. Really, really appreciate that.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And before you go, make sure to check out our guest today and also subscribe to the A1 Trading YouTube channel if you have not already. Risk Calculator is a risk management tool built specifically for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 to help you position size properly. Their easy to use software will allow you to enter and exit positions with lot sizes that are calculated for you, suited to your risk management settings that you allow for the tool. This is a big thing because a lot of us struggle with over leveraging or accidentally taking a position size too big, and Risk Calculator is there to help. Like I said, with the click of a few buttons, you're able to set your trade and the lot size will automatically be calculated for you so that it suits your risk management plan. In addition to actually setting your trades with the proper lot size, it also allows you to manage your trades as they're going along. Things like trailing stops, moving stops to break even, or even partial take profits are all tools or features available with the Risk Calculator functions that are available on MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. If you're interested in checking out Risk Calculator, there's a link down below in the description. And if you use that link, it does help to support what we do here on the channel, which is provide free trading content, again, by the thanks to the help of our sponsors. So thanks so much for watching today. Again, make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't already, and we'll see you back in the next one.